What do investors look for?
Investors look for returns. Why you are the right person to invest in, why you are trustworthy, why you are capable, and why you are committed to this cause.
How detailed should the problem be, and what are all those nitty-gritties that are involved while presenting it in a pitch deck?
It is very important to know at what level of priority it is for the person who is facing the problem. See, in economics, the definition of demand is the willingness and ability of a user, of the customer, to procure or purchase an item over a period of time.
Can you differentiate between solution and a product? So is solution and product same, or product is a solution, or solution is a product?
For the customer, product is the solution. Okay. For you, solution is the product.
Hello guys, welcome back to Community Questions podcast. And today we have Mr. Prakash again with us. Welcome, sir.
Hi, Teja.
Yeah. So, Prakash, today we are completely going very deep into pitch deck. Yeah.
Okay.
So, pitch deck for early stage startups, especially.
Okay.
So, why I said early stage startups is when I look at pitch decks in two different verticals. I mean, completely for the early stage people, and then pitch decks for scale startups, or they are yet to scale. So there is a slight difference, I feel. Today I would like to go deep into how pitch decks should look like, and what kind of pitch decks does investors like, all this kind of stuff. Okay, so the first question is, it's a very vague question. What do investors look for?
Investors look for returns. And when you're presenting, I think in early stage startups, what do you actually have?
We just have an idea.
You just have an idea, and based on what should you get invested in? All that you have is the person. So the most important aspect of any investor's observation is the founder and their capabilities. Very early stage, if you're a first-time founder, you'll generally not have established credibility of building a business. So it is for you to show why you are a good person, or why you are the right person to invest in, why you are trustworthy, why you are capable, and why you are committed to this cause. So this is, I think, predominantly what investors look for.
Yeah. So if I go into the first page of the pitch deck, so what it should look like? So it should speak about the problem, or should there be something else?
It should ideally have what you are asking for. I mean, whatever is your greatest strength, whatever you actually have to offer to the investor is what you have. You should have the first two slides. Basically, because if you are leading with your strengths and being building upon the strength, then it's a better building. You should not be ideally, as a first time founder, you should not be ideally talking about some huge vision or the large market and those things, because huge vision, large market, these are all given. It is there. Nobody has to tangibly bring it down. So what is it that you are offering tangibly? Are you IIT, IIM grad? If you are an IIT or IIM grad, then it shows that you are capable of putting in a lot of effort, great, consistent work, and get to do something. You are already there.
Yeah.
So if you are not there, what else? Have you spent 10 years in a particular domain? Do you have in-depth knowledge or understanding of a particular subject? If so, how did you acquire that knowledge? And why do you think you have sufficient knowledge compared to your competitor or anybody else solving that problem for you to be respected and trusted to solve that problem?
Yeah.
So that is what predominantly you should lead with.
Yeah. Since you have we are talking about started with investors, so suddenly a question stuck in my mind. So do pitch decks should be designed only to raise investments, or is there any other use of the pitch deck?
Generally, we prepare pitch deck to raise an investment, right?
Yeah.
So there is no actually you also, even if you don't prepare a deck, when you are talking about your product to your customer, you are pitching the product to the customer.
Yes.
And pitching yourself also. See, when you are, I don't see that customers and investors are going to look at you differently. Okay, an investor is looking at a company that will solve a customer's problem consistently and earn money. And customer is looking for what? Value for the money that he is giving to you, and he needs to trust you and your product to work.
Yeah.
So what is different between what customer is expecting and what an investor is expecting? So if you really focus on solving your customer's problem and tell your investor, this is how I am solving the customer's problem, this is the value my customer is deriving, and because of that he is happy and he is going to pay money for me, then that is the point at which the investor will also get confidence.
Yeah.
So I don't see the investor or the customer behaving differently. You shouldn't be actually preparing a pitch deck to satisfy an investor. People do see through those kind of decks. Okay, but if you really solve a problem, that will also show. If you really solve a problem and add value to a customer's life, and the customer is happy paying you money for that, that will also be seen even by the investors. So put your best foot forward. Show the world what you actually have to offer to them.
Yeah, exactly. So we generally go with a deck in front of investor, but we just verbally speak, express our ideas to our customers. Great. Generally, I've seen a few pitch decks. They use a great method. They start with a story. So I'm putting myself as an example. So Teja is a 22 years old boy from Hyderabad. He is facing has gone to some place and faced so and so problem. So this problem is very critical in Teja's life, and to solve this problem, this solution is existing. And how am I? How the startup is innovating that solution? So this is how they start. So what is your take on it?
So it's a very good way to start with the. Mostly, it's a great idea to start with a personal problem. Okay, a problem that you yourself have faced and you yourself have solved it for yourself. And because you would have gained some kind of insight by going through that problem. And once you find that, okay, I have solved this for myself, there are so many other people having this problem, but they are not solving it as efficiently as I solved it for me. Or if I had known something more, I would have solved it more efficiently. So you've already gained that insight. So if you gain that insight and if you are able to productize it, create a process around the way you solve the problem and create a product out of it, then definitely it's a good business to start, because you know exactly what you are doing. And you know exactly how the person is feeling, the person in that same situation, how they are feeling. So if you are building something like that, and if you are building because you have solved it for yourself, okay, it's a good story to tell. And it's a very good story to start with, because mostly the people who have this kind of story will already have a working MVP. Okay, so it is that is the best stage at which an early stage founder can go to an investor and seek investment for growth.
Yeah. So since we have started this conversation with a story, I mean the pitch deck. So we have actually started with the person, then going to the problem statement in the flow of pitch deck. If you are telling a story, so I've heard this advice from many people. Two different advices. So a few people say you start generally problem doesn't start. It starts with the target audience, I mean the person, then comes to the problem, then goes to the solution or product, all these things. So does problem come first or the person come first? I mean the target audience come first?
Okay, so the problem always remains in the same place. So problem is always there. It's only that daily new people are facing that problem and wanting it to be solved, or maybe the same person is facing it daily and wanting it to be solved, but doesn't have the skill or capability to solve it for themselves. So there is no business with either a person or a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, there is only a business if there is a person with a problem. So it doesn't matter which one you start with, but these two are inevitable about each other. Uh, these two are not mutually exclusive. Okay, a business opportunity is person with the problem.
Person with, yeah, yeah.
So you should start with the person with the problem.
Great. And so if I go to the next slide of pitch deck, so what should it be?
So you know who the person with the problem is, and what will they pay for? They will pay for a solution.
Yeah, yeah.
So you should be able to tell why this problem is very important and how it can be solved, so that the customer, the user or the person with the problem ends up being happy.
Okay, so before we go to jump into the next session, I would like to stress more on the problem itself, because I heard a few problems which are very, very vague. So let's see, uh, the bus is very crowded, so that is also a problem. But what is happening if the bus is very crowded? So how detailed should the problem be, and what are all those nitty-gritties that are involved while presenting it in a pitch deck?
Okay, see, for anybody, for any of us to identify a problem,
Yeah.
to solve, okay, and a problem that is worthy solving, it is very important to know at what level of priority it is for the person who is facing the problem. Right? So for example, a person who just had his breakfast may not be hungry, so he's not right now facing the problem of hunger. At that point in time, if you give him an option of watching a movie or eating food, he may choose watching a movie. But if a person is hungry, at that point in time, if you offer him the same choice, the same person may choose differently. He'll say, okay, give me food. So it is about understanding at what level or what affordability. See, in economics, the definition of demand it's very, very beautiful. Okay, demand is the willingness and ability of a user, of the customer, to procure or purchase an item over a period of time. So if I may have what do you call 1 lakh rupees, okay, and I may still not buy 1,000 rupee worth of ice cream, okay, because for me, I am better off keeping that 1 lakh rupees with me rather than taste that ice cream. Okay, but there may be somebody who says, boss, I want this ice cream. Somehow, I really want to taste it. And I will, even if he's having 10,000 rupees, he'll set aside 1,000 rupees for that ice cream.
Yeah.
I have seen so many bike enthusiasts. Okay, I have seen bike enthusiasts who have bought a house for, bike for 22 lakhs. And I would never do that. If I had 22 lakhs, I'll probably buy a house. I'll not even buy a car. Okay, 22 lakhs available for me to do. I will probably go and buy a property.
Yeah.
So there will be edge cases where people may go on and solve that problem for themselves by taking great effort.
Yeah.
Okay, but you should really see whether this behavior is consistent among everybody who is facing that problem. Even in movies, we see only one hero, no? I mean, the whole colony will be facing the problem, but only one hero will come and solve it for himself.
Yeah.
Or everybody. So it doesn't mean that just because you solved the problem for yourself and you took some great effort to solve it for yourself, for everybody the same problem is there, and say they want it solved. It's mostly that we learn to live with most problems. There are so many problems that we face, and we don't stop to solve every problem that we face. Okay, there is the traffic problem, pollution problem. There are some people fighting for it, but not everybody is fighting for it.
Yeah.
Now, if you go and ask, sir, let me solve pollution problem for you. Everybody in Delhi, please, I'll solve pollution problem for you. Give me 300 rupees. Nobody, you may, in the entire population of Delhi, maybe 0.1% will come for that.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of them will say, boss, I have other things to do. I know this will subside. I know how to manage with this. So there are problems, there are severe problems which people continue to live with. So you should identify whether this is a problem that they are solving for themselves every day. For example, transport. Okay, it is I need to be, I'm at point A, I need to travel to point B. I have to travel. It's a problem that is worth solving because there is no other way that I can handle the situation. Okay. In case of pollution, I can still live with it. I'm not going to die right next. When so you have to identify the problem which is really, really painful for the person at that point in time. I generally say, don't look for a problem statement. Look for a pain statement. What is that pain that they are going through, and they're ready to pay money to solve.
Okay. Can you give me an example of pain and differentiate it with
problem?
Yes.
Poor health is a problem, right? So the solution for it is to do exercise, have healthy food, take sufficient rest, and things like that. But it's a problem. Do we always have good food, take rest, do exercise? No, we don't do that. We start to live with some poor health. We know, okay, I'm not able to get up quickly. If I walk little longer, I'm starting to pant and things like that. But heart attack is a pain. Okay, the moment heart attack comes, immediately you stop everything, you just go lie down, get angioplasty, get yourself treated, then you start walking, be careful with your diet, and all that stuff. So the solution is same, but the one was a problem which was important but not urgent. Okay, so we generally don't worry about things that are not urgent, which unless we are forced to exercise. Most people's behavior I'm talking about. There are some fitness freaks, don't get into those edge cases. No, there are a lot of people who are doing exercise regularly. Those people are doing, I'm not saying no, but those are edge cases. But the general population will address a problem only when it becomes a pain. The same person who used to have samosa and unhealthy lifestyle, once he goes through a heart attack, at least for some time, he or she will try to maintain a good lifestyle.
Correct. So, okay, we'll go to the next slide. So, can you differentiate between solution and the product? So, is solution and product same, or product is a solution, or solution is a product?
For the customer, product is the solution. Okay. For you, solution is the product. Okay. So, see, there is one step between problem and solution. Currently, how that problem is being faced by addressed by the customer. Okay. How are they solving it for themselves? So when you are getting there, there will be two options. One is there is a certain process through which they solve it, or as I said, they will live with it. If they are living with it, it's not so much of a business. But if they are somehow solving it, and there is some kind of effort, money, or time involved in solving it, then there is potential for business. Now, when you are seeing that, okay, now this problem is existing and people are solving it through this manner, this pain. So let's stop talking about problems. Let's say this is the pain, and this pain they are addressing it through this solution, and these are the various solutions that they have to address. Now, once that there are some kind of solutions that are already solving that problem, you have to find out the best optimum solution that can be created for solving this problem more efficiently. So once you create a solution is generally a process. Okay, if you are hungry, the solution is food, but food is not a product. Food is food. Everything is food. Vada pav is food, burger is food, biryani is food, everything is food. So, and if I just because the solution is rice, solution is food, can I give you white rice and tell you eat it? Your hunger will get dosed. That's not the point. You may not be able to do it sustainably. You may be able to do it where people are really hungry, but that kind of hunger we don't have. So when you come, you have understood, okay, this is the solution. Now how do I deliver the solution to the customer in a way that the customer can use it without much application of thought? Okay, the design of the solution into a black box, okay, which can be given to the customer, and customer can simply apply it without applying much thought. They can simply use it and solve their problem. For example, if I try to go and explain the mechanics of a car, if I tell somebody, sir, don't worry, if I put a cylinder and on one end I'll put a moving part where which is now called a crank rod. Now inside the cylinder, inside the enclosed portion, we will put some fuel and spark it. It will explode. And because of that, this moving part will move linearly. This linear movement will be converted into a circular motion through a crank rod. And that crank rod will drive your wheel and you will be able to drive the car. If I tell this, people will wonder, boss, what are you telling me? But instead, what do we tell them? We tell the customer, sir, this is accelerator, brake, clutch. A, B, C. Press the clutch, change the gear, accelerate. If you want to stop, apply brake. Customer doesn't have to care how the mechanics work. Okay, such a huge technical problem, technical solution, but so simplified to customer that anybody can operate.
Yeah,
that is the difference between a solution and a product.
Yes, yes.
The product is something, the solution in a black box that customer doesn't have to think about it. Today, when you are booking a ride, you just open the app and click. You don't know what's happening behind it. Somehow the driver comes to know about it and he comes to you and you are able to track him. So if I go to explain what all goes behind this entire process and you follow this process, you follow that process so that you can get this information, customer will say, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. This solution is more problematic than the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we have to do is we have to look at the solution. The solution is great. We have to build it in such a way that the customer can consume it without much thought.
Okay. Okay. Great. A clear thought. And yeah, there is no more question on solution and product. I will directly move to the next segment, which comes the market size.